Giving all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Hashem Harakakwadash. Send up honors to our apostles and elders here at Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the Lord's hopefully elect. Yesterday at camp, we had a Jake that came by. You know, I like the Jake, humble Jake. His ears was open to hear the word of the Lord. He was learning, smooth brother. And we were talking about the topic of free will. And with him, you can kind of say it's a deal breaker. But if in his mind, he says, "Nah, man, I got to have that. I got to have that free will because of his whole background experiences. That's just something he wants to believe in." So we were basically trying to explain to him that really there's no such thing as a free will. Now, his definition, what I actually explained to him, his definition would be considered liberty, because before I'm at the brother's channel at Tazawam in our camp. I'm at his channel because I don't have it up yet, but can't really hear him say it. But I asked him to define what free will is, and he said that if he was to come across basically a fork in the road, that he can choose to go left or he can choose to go right. And he said, I have that. He said, that's something that I have, that I can do. And I said, well, that's really liberty, right? It's really liberty. And we'll get that definition in the scriptures, which I believe the scriptures tell you that it's the power of choice, as you could say. And what I explained to him was that I said that the definition of free will, according to the world, is, which is what are wrong, is that they believe, people in the world like the heathens, especially Esau, Edom, they believe that everything they do is of their own, and that there is no power or influence from the Most High. There's no outside force that dictates what they do or what goes on in the world. Everything just happens, by chance, and that is incorrect. That is incorrect, and we got many examples in the scriptures to prove it. But he was hearing us, but he was just like, I gotta have my free will, brother, which I'm gonna let you hear. That was his whole thing. And then we'll get into, I got what the Google definition is.
The Lord said, choose life. Choose.
But that would denote free will.
Right, but see, really it's like the illusion of free will. You ever seen the movie The Matrix? Remember he's talking to the Oracle?
I gotta have my free will, bro. No matter what I believe, I have to have choice.
And that was his whole thing. He said, I just gotta have the free will. And his whole thing was choose. He said, that was his thing. He's like, I can say no. Because we got on the topic of Jonah. He said, see, Jonah said no. And we explained, we said, even though Jonah said no, in the end, he ended up doing what the Most High told him to do anyway. The only difference is he went through some hell to get there. So, yeah. So he said, he was saying, well, even though I end up at the same destination, I can choose a different path. And I said, sure, you could choose a different path, but at the end, you're going to do what the Most High tells you to do, which in a sense, he agreed. He just said that he wants to be able to choose his own journey or path. But in reality, that's already chosen for you anyway. Just like Jonah was set up in the spirit anyway, because of what Yahushua was going to go through. In the end, you're going to do what the Most High wants you to do. It just depends on how many whoopings or lashings are you going to get before you end up doing it. And that's why it's best to just be obedient, right? So, and that was his thing. He's like, I just got to have my free will, which we like the brother. He said he's going to do some research. I actually prefer him to stay because we're going to get into some good topics. But so I typed in free will definition, right? And this is why they have multiple versions. That's why I normally ask somebody define free will, right? And 9 times out of 10, what they're explaining is wrong, right? But sometimes what they talking about is really liberty, which we'll explain. So the definition, we're really looking at this first part here. I don't know who you are. I have no idea what that is, but it says free will. It says the power of acting without the constraint of necessity or fate. That's incorrect, according to the scriptures. The second part is the ability to act at one's own discretion. You see, that's liberty, right? But this power of acting without the constraint of necessity or fate, that's incorrect according to the scriptures. Again, the definition that most people believe is that free will is that everything that happens on the earth is not dictated by the Most High. Everything that just happens is just us making decisions, and we get to where we get to, however we get to. There's no outside force. The Most High has no influence over what happens, and that is completely incorrect according to the scriptures. First, I'll do this. We'll look up the word liberty first, which in the Greek, eleutheria. It says liberty to do or to omit things having no relationships to salvation. Fancy liberty, license, the liberty to do as one pleases. True liberty is living as we should and not as we please. So in this case, like they're saying, like freedom, you could say. In this case here, when they say license, the liberty to do as one pleases. So you can make decisions each and every day. But what we're explaining is that according to the scriptures, the final say-so as of what you're going to do or where you will end up is of the Lord. And there's examples of that. You know, people believe that they have control over themselves, but at the same time, they admit that they don't. They just don't know that they do. So we'll come back to here. Well, we'll read it. It's 1 Peter 2, verse 15. For so is the will of the Most High, that with well-doing ye may put to silence the ignorance of foolish men, as free, not using your liberty for a cloak of maliciousness, but as the servants of Yahweh. So as we explained, we're under grace. But we don't use that grace as a cloak of maliciousness like the hypocritical Christians do and say, I can just do whatever I want now because the Lord died for my sins. No. You're still supposed to make the right decisions to the best of your ability and don't sin willfully. This is Proverbs 24. Man's goings are of the Lord Yahweh. How can a man then understand his own way? And just like I explained, I read the book of Jeremiah where the Lord told Jeremiah that he was a prophet from birth before he even got in the womb, showing you that everything that Jeremiah experienced up until that point, that was him, he was set up for that purpose. And just like people have purpose in their life, they feel like they have a purpose, right? Some people may say, I think it's my purpose to be a physician. I believe it's my purpose to help people in this area, that area. This is just I feel that's just my purpose. Well, who gave you that purpose? The Most High. So who lined your path out for you to ultimately end up doing what your purpose is? The Most High. The Most High. You didn't just choose that. And that's like the brother saying, that's the illusion of what you think. Oh no, I just decided to end up doing this. No, really, it came from the Most High. Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 23. O Lord Yahweh, I know that the way of man is not in himself. It is not in man that walketh to direct his steps. You see, it comes from the Heavenly Father. It comes from the Most High. You know, like he was trying to say, because we explained to him, he said the reason the Lord brought you down here because he wanted you to hear this. And his whole thing was, well, I could have took a different direction and still end up here, right? I said, and that's the point. He said, at the end of the day, you still was going to end up here. And his whole thing was that the power to choose how he got there, he believes that he has ultimately that power. And what we're saying is that really, according to the scriptures, it's of the Most High. It's of the Most High. And at any point, the Most High can tell you to do what he wants you to do. That's just a fact. That's just a fact. Is it Job 33? Yeah. Job 33. Verse 15. In a dream and a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, and slumberings upon the bed, then he openeth the ears of men, and sealeth their instruction. So your day is already laid out. So what that brother didn't know is the night before, the Most High had already set it up to where he was going to end up crossing our path at that specific time. That's how the Lord had it set up. You can say whatever you want. Well, I still went to the store and I still went to get laundry done. All that. End of the day, the Lord said, you're going to be downtown at this spot at this time, and you're going to hear this word from the Lord. So whether a seed is planted or whether we just watered it or whether it's to seal your faith to eventually come into this truth or to your condemnation, that's the will of the Most High. Ultimately, and there's many other scriptures you can use, but I'm just going to give you an example, right? Like Saul, he's a good example. Saul's a good example. It's 1 Samuel chapter 9. Now there was a man of Benjamin whose name was Kish, the son of Abiel, the son of Zeror, the son of Bechorath, the son of Apaphiah, a Benjaminite, a mighty man of power. And he had a son whose name was Saul, a choice young man and a goodly, and there was not among the children of Israel a goodlier person than he. From the shoulders and upward he was higher than any of the people. And the asses of Kish, Saul's father, were lost. And Kish said unto Saul his son, Take now one of the servants with thee, and arise, and go and seek the asses. And he passed through the Mount Ephraim, and passed through the land of Shalisha, but they found them not. Then they passed through the land of Shalim, and there they were not. And he passed through the land of the Benjaminites, but they found them not. And when they were come to the land of Zuph, Saul said unto his servant that was with him, Come, let us return, lest my father leave caring for the asses, and take thought for us. And he said unto him, Behold, now there is in this city a man of the Most High, and he is an honorable man. All that he saith surely come to pass. Now let us go thither. Peradventure he can show us our way that we should go. Right? So he was actually talking about Samuel. So if you jump down, verse 15, it says, Now the Lord Yahweh had told Samuel in his ear a day before Saul came, saying, Tomorrow about this time I will send thee a man out of the land of Benjamin, and thou shalt anoint him to be captain over my people Israel, that he may save my people out of the hand of the Philistines. For I have looked upon my people, because their cry is come unto me. Because this is right when Israel said, No, we want a king. So what did the Lord tell Samuel? He already told Samuel the day before, about this time tomorrow, I'm going to bring a man out of the land of Benjamin, and him you shall anoint king. Verse 17, when Samuel saw Saul, the Lord Yahweh said unto him, Behold, the man whom I spake thee of, this same shall reign over my people. Then Saul drew near to Samuel in the gate and said, Tell me, I pray thee, where the seer's house is. And Samuel answered Saul, and he said, I am the seer. Go up before me in the high place, for ye shall eat with me today, and tomorrow I will let thee go, and will tell thee all that is in thine heart. As for the asses that thou were lost 3 days ago, set not thy mind on them, for they are found. And on whom is all the desire of Israel? Is it not on thee and all thy father's house? So he already told Saul, he said, I'm the man you seek, right? You're going to spend the time with me. I got to tell you what the Lord wants of you. And don't worry about those asses that you were looking for, because they already been found. So that right there shows you that Samuel thought, Saul thought that he was going out to find his asses. He said, okay, I got to go here. Okay, I got to go here. Can't find, let's go here. And then his friend said, well, look, we can go seek out, there's a man, a prophet, we can go ask him. Saul just thought he was going to look for his asses, for his father's asses. But the Lord brought him there. So Saul didn't control his own paths. He thought he did. But in the end, the Lord said what? He already told Samuel, tomorrow I'm going to draw out a man of Benjamin. He's going to be the king. You see? So in the end, the Lord controlled his steps. And that's how you explain it. When you come across certain people in your life, however it is, you say the Most High wanted us to meet, cross paths, so you put certain people in your life. He ultimately doing it. However it happens is how it happens. So you see, that's what we mean when we say there's no free will. Because in the ultimate end, yes, fate does decide, because that's what the definition said, right? The power of acting without the constraint of basically fate. Like fate, the Lord doesn't. Oh, yes, he does. Yes, he does. We know about Daniel 4, right? This is the king. Let me see if I can jump to the points on it. It says, Nebuchadnezzar the king, unto all the people, nations, languages that dwell in the peace in the earth, peace be multiplied unto you. I thought it good to show the signs and wonders that the Most High Yahweh have wrought towards me. How great are his signs, and how mighty are his wonders. His kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and his dominion is from generation to generation. I, Nebuchadnezzar, was at rest in mine house, and flourishing in my palace. Right? I saw a dream which made me afraid, and the thoughts upon my bed and the visions of my head troubled me. Therefore made I a decree to bring in all the wise men of Babylon before me, that I may make known unto me the interpretation of the dream. So in the end, he came to Daniel, right? And he told Daniel the dream. And Daniel broke down the dream to him. And a part of that dream was that he actually saw and foresaw himself in the future getting proud, and the Most High putting the spirit of a beast on him to humble him down, just to prove a point. He actually saw it, and it was actually told to him, and it was even warned by Daniel to look, you need to humble down, you know what I'm saying? All right, you need to humble down. But it happened anyway. So I'm going to jump to the point. This is Daniel 4. This is him breaking it down. Really verse 16, right? This is what the voice said. And it says, let his heart be changed from man's, and let a beast's heart be given unto him, and let it 7 times pass over him. This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basis of men. That's what it was all a point. It was a point to show you that the Heavenly Father, in the end, he controls the king, he controls everything, and he can set up over whom he will. Though man will think, I'm the man, I got myself here, I'm just that good. The Heavenly Father is ultimately the one that puts you in that position, or that king in a position, just like he did Nebuchadnezzar. And this is Daniel breaking it down to him. This dream I, King Nebuchadnezzar, have seen, and now, O thou Belshazzar, which is Daniel, declare the interpretation thereof, for as much as all the wise men of my kingdom are not able to make known unto me the interpretation, but thou art able, for the spirit of the Most High, the holy gods, is in thee. Then Daniel, whose name was Belshazzar, was astonished a stone for 1 hour, and his thoughts troubled him. The king spake and said, Belteshazzar, let not the dream or the interpretation thereof trouble thee. Belteshazzar answered and said, My lord, the dream be to them that hate thee, and the interpretation thereof to thine enemies. The tree that thou sawest, which grew and was strong, whose height reached into the heaven, and the sight thereof to all the earth, whose leaves were fair, and the fruit thereof much, and in it was meat for all, under which the beasts of the field dwelt, and upon the whose branches the fowls of the heaven had their habitation. It is thou, O king, thou art grown and become strong, for thy greatness is grown and reacheth unto heaven, and thy dominion to the end of the earth. And whereas the king saw a watcher and an holy one come down from heaven, saying, Hew the tree down and destroy it, yet leave the stump of the roots thereof in the earth, even with the bands of irons and brass, in the tender grass field, and let it be wet with the dew of heaven, and let his portion be with the beasts of the field, till 7 times pass over him. This is the interpretation, O king. This is the decree of the Most High, which is come upon my lord the king, that they shall drive thee from men, and thy dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field, and they shall make thee eat grass as oxen, and they shall wet thee with the dew of heaven. And 7 times shall pass over thee, till thou know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will. And whereas they commanded to leave the stump of the tree roots, thy kingdom shall be assured unto thee, after that thou hast have made known that the heavens do rule. Wherefore, O king, let my counsel be acceptable unto thee, and break off thy sins by righteousness, and thy iniquities by showing mercy to the poor. It may be a if it may be a lengthening of thy tranquility. So that was his warning to say, because at first he didn't really want to break it down, because he was like, I'm about to basically tell the king what's gonna happen to him. He might hurt me. So he broke it down, and in the end he said, look, the future is that you are going to basically have the spirit of a beast upon you, and in the end your kingdom is going to be a little long, but this horrible thing has happened to you first. So he basically said, look, you need to kind of do right. And it says, and all this came upon Nebuchadnezzar. At the end of 12 months he walked in the palace of the king of Babylon. The king spake and said, is not this great Babylon that I have built for the house of the kingdom by the might of my power, for the honor of my majesty? So he got proud. That proud spirit jumped in him, and he's like, ain't I'm the king that did all this by my power, my man, like by my hand. I'm just a man, right? So it said, while the word was in the king's mouth, there fell a voice from heaven saying, O King Nebuchadnezzar, to thee it is spoken, the kingdom is departed from thee. And they shall drive thee from men, and thy dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field. And they shall make thee to eat grass as oxen, and 7 times shall pass over thee, until thou know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will. The same hour was the thing fulfilled upon Nebuchadnezzar, and he was driven from men, and did eat grass as oxen, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven, till his hairs were grown like eagle's feathers, and his nails like bird claws. So the Most High just basically put an actual beast animal spirit in him. He took away the man spirit and basically gave him a beast spirit, so much so that his body even changed. His genetic makeup, you could say, changed to where he was growing animal parts, nails and stuff like that. Why? Because it's a great humbling experience to let you know that, look, at your peak, I'm in control here, right? And it says, and at the end of the days, I, Nebuchadnezzar, lifted up my eyes into heaven, and mine understanding returns unto me. So the Most High gave him back his spirit, his understanding, his reasoning. And I blessed the Most High, and I praised and honored him that liveth forever, whose dominion is an everlasting dominion, and his kingdom is from generation to generation. And all the inhabitants of the earth are reputed as nothing, and he doeth according to his will in the army of the heaven, and among the habitation of the earth. And none can say his hand, or say unto him, what doest thou? At the same time my reasoning returned unto me, and for the glory of my kingdom mine honor and my brightness returned unto me, and my counselor and my Lord sought unto me, and I was established in my kingdom, and an excellent majesty was added unto me. And now I, Nebuchadnezzar, praise and extol and honor the King of the heaven, all whose works are truth, and his ways judgment, and those that walk in pride he is able to abase. Right? So in the end, this free will see if I can find it, but this free will is really the Most High's will, as the scripture says. Romans 9:19, thou wilt say unto me, why doeth he yet find fault? For who hath resisted his will? So we're talking about will. End of the day, it's the Most High's will, and you can't resist his will. You think you can, but you can't, because in the end, if you're going to end up doing what the Most High tells you to do, it's a matter of, do you want to get a whooping first, or do you want to just listen and take the path? And it all depends on how many lashes, you can say, or whips do you want before you finally end up doing what it is you want him to do anyway. So it's really the Most High's will, his will. The free will, like I said, is that idea that the fate doesn't determine anything. That definition is incorrect, okay? to say the word choice, sure, but in the end, your steps is already passed out anyway. So it's really the will of the Heavenly Father anyway. That's what his prophecy is. His prophecy is going to come to pass. Saul thought he was looking for his asses. The Most High drew him out. King Nebuchadnezzar, he told him what was going to happen to him, and then it happened to him as an example, right? To even have those of the other nation proclaim that yes, truly it's the Most High that ruleth in the kingdom of men. I'm thinking I'm somebody. He just set me up. So that definition of the Most High basically has no the dictation as of what goes on in the earth, that's a lie. Okay, that's biblically incorrect. And one more, this Ecclesiastes 8 verse 6, because to every purpose there is a time and judgment, therefore the misery of man is great upon him, for he knoweth not that which shall be, for who can tell him when it is that shall be? Talking about death, right, or judgment. It says there is no man that have power there is no man that have power over the spirit to retain the spirit, neither hath he power in the day of death, and there is no discharge in that war, neither shall wickedness deliver those that are given into it. Now, when I said that technically people admit that they don't have free will without admitting it, if it's one thing people are afraid of, is what? Death, right? Why are a lot of people afraid of death? Because they don't know what's going to happen to them. They don't know where they're going to go. But wait a minute, if you have free will, which in the sense you have control over your spirit, don't you have the power to control where you go? So you're admitting you don't. At the end of the day, it's in the power of the Lord. But in your little feeble mind, you think that while you're in this flesh, the Most High doesn't have the power to control you. No, man, that's incorrect. Because the reason people are afraid of that path, because they know that they don't have no control over themselves. You don't have any control over your spirit. Because if you do have control of your spirit, then you will be able to control where it is that you went, which would be heaven, right? Because there's no such thing as hell, but that just goes to show you. A lot of people fear death, especially when they get old age, because they like, I don't know where I'm going. But you don't think the Most High, so you don't think the Most High has the power to control you while you're in this piece of clay? Are you insane? Because like I said, you don't have power to retain the spirit, right? It's completely out of your hands. It's out of your control, right? So again, that definition of free will, according to the world, is incorrect, all right? It's not biblical. So with that, shalom.